Hey YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to go over a pretty cheap budget alternative for this format. I think this deck's pretty competitive in my opinion. I got second place at the World Championship celebration event. I kind of played this deck as kind of a goof. I didn't expect to actually do really well with it. In my opinion, I did. My matchups were so round one was Makonko, which was pretty simple 2-0. Second round it was Snake Eye Fiendsmith against a really good player. He unfortunately, I locked him out of the game with the combo game one, and then game two he kind of bricked, so it was pretty easy to take advantage of that. Overall, I think the Snake Eye matchup is not nearly as scary as it is with some decks. I feel like Natasha can just break that board on its own. It's more or less scary when they have Droll or Bestials. That's what I fear from that deck more than anything, because their end boards don't seem to be scary enough. Game three was against Flu, which is a very rough matchup for this deck. Mainly because if they shifter you, the game's over. Fucho isn't super impactful against them. Normally, if I get shifted, I go into my Fucho line, but the Fucho line isn't always very good against Flu, just because they don't need to kill you. They can just set up a lot of interruptions. And essentially, sure, you buy yourself a turn, but you're still losing in that follow-up. So I ended up, I think, 2-1. I ended up dropping a game. He outgrinded me. Played very well. And then my last round, I ended up losing. I got 2-0'd. Really good player. He knew exactly where to hand trap me. He did something that I'll go into later. But, well, I guess I can go to it now. Essentially, people against this deck, they nib way too early. Because of that, you're allowed to take advantage of it. But he actually waited for the Medionis to drop before. And the only real way to punish that is to have a DRYTRON in hand, which I didn't have. I also had two of the worst names. I had Gamma Delta, and I just couldn't push through double hand trap, and he had follow-up, so it is what it is. So without further ado, let's kind of get into the deck list here. 3 Alpha, 3 Zeta, 3 Delta, 3 Gamma. Always play 3 of this. I hate when people play 2 Gamma, 2 Delta. Like, you don't want to see it necessarily, but you need names. You need to have 2 names at all times, so you have to max out on these. I don't play new because new is garbage. I'm sorry to inform people of this. I don't know why they keep forcing people to play that card. The card's trash. It says you can't summon back your Ben 10, and you can't play the best variant of DRYTRON. Bad card. The Ritual is okay. I don't play it because I don't want to brick in my deck. I essentially want to keep bricks to the absolute minimum, but new is garbage. I said this when it released and nobody believes me. They think it's a hot take, but new is really so, honestly, it's kind of annoying because if they wouldn't have given it that restriction, it would have been such a better card, but the restriction is just too bad for me to even consider playing it. I've tried it, it's not good. Just supplementary cards. Pot, Foolish, you need 2 names at all times. 3 Cyber, 3 Nova, same logic. I was considering maybe getting rid of like something else and putting in Where Art Thou. I really like that card, but the problem with it is Where Art Thou is an insanely good card, but it's only good if you already have combo or a way to establish a DRYTRON on board. At that point, Where Art Thou just felt a little bit win-more to me, because if I'm already able to summon out Alpha, then I would rather have a Nova or a Emergency or a Foolish, because these are all second names that don't require anything in terms of setup. Where Thou, you have to have a level 1 on the field, which really hurts its viability, in my opinion. 3 Ben 10, Natasha, and Perfection. That's all you need. Don't play more rituals than this. Rituals themselves are not necessarily bricks because they can be used with your DRYTRON names. They're just, you don't want to see them. Why do you want to play more bricks than you have to play? Like, you do not want to play the dads. They're all bad for the most part. Like, the Monster Negate are relevant because we got Eva back. So there's no reason to play it, in my opinion. And this is really all you need. I don't think you need more than this. I think if you're playing more than this, you're probably just not experienced enough with the deck. Harold Medionis. Sorry, I'm going to say one thing about new that I've been thinking about before someone else says it. I've been considering playing it at 1, like very, very like on the fence about it. Just because new is kind of full combo. It's a 1-card starter. So in times where you open only Nova, Emergency, yeah, I think in those situations maybe, but like even thinking about it, I don't think it would be that good in my opinion. I don't know. I'm trying to make new work and I should just stop. I don't think that card's very good now that we have Eva. This card is insane. Both cards are incredibly insane. I love these ritual cards. I love them so much. Yeah. For more generic fairy stuff, we play 3 orange light, obviously. 1 green light because you have to. You've searched 2 different names. Yeah, not much to say about that. They're pretty bad as hand traps in my opinion. So I've been trying to consider whether I should cut orange light to 2 or to 1. But I mean, in times where it comes up, it's really good, but like you never want to pitch 2 off of orange light. That's so bad. Like if you're trading into, like I traded into a nib during the Snake Eye matchup. I traded a nib for a orange light and I believe a perfection, and it just felt so bad. Like it feels really, really bad to do that kind of stuff. But like at least if you're pitching a ritual, you can get it back off the Medionis. But like, it's not good. It does not feel good as hand traps. So I would maybe consider putting these down to 1 each, just so they're searchable. But and then if you draw them, it's whatever. Choju, don't play Diviner. Diviner's bad. I've been trying to tell people this for a long time now. Diviner is not good. Stop playing it. Stop playing Vanities. Both those cards die to hand traps. Choju is one of those cards that, like, even if it gets hand trapped, you're tributing over the Ben 10. So you're at least getting a search, and then you can pivot your plays beyond that point. So if Choju gets impermed, which that's what my Ubel player did, Fiendsmith Ubel did in round 4, who was extremely versed with how the deck works. So he played it really well. So what he did was he nibbed my whole board, which I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I still have gas. So I tribute summon Choju. And so instead of imperming my Fafnir that I had made earlier, he decides to hold it and wait for the Choju, which was actually an extremely smart play. Because Choju getting hit with imperm is really rough. But the thing is, people never do that. They seem to always want to shotgun it at the Fafnir. So, tribute summoning Choju over Ben 10, way better than Diviner any day of the week. Vanity's Fiend or Vanity's Ruler, I forget which one, not super good. It's better to have this build because this build literally just dies the Droplet and Dark Ruler, nothing else. Maybe Kurikara, I guess, but nobody's playing that. Maybe a Kaiju, but nobody's playing that. So Choju's the best. Normal summon, don't at me. It just is the way it is. 1 card should be banned. The whole reason this deck is viable is because of this card. It's so stupid they brought this back. I love it. This card in itself is 3 negates off perfection. Because you pitch Eva, you banish 2, you add orange light and what is it, green light or something? Yeah, green light. And add those back, and then you have 2 other negates. So the goal is to essentially by using Eva, you add these two, and then because of Dawn of the Herald, you should have a Ben 10 in hand as well as two miscellaneous searches. So you should be having 6 negates, roughly, to hit every single card in their hand, and you kind of put them on droplet. Even if they droplet you, I'll show you during the combo variant, but even if they droplet you, you still have a high chance of winning just because of your board. They pretty much have to commit into at least 3 cards with droplet, so droplet itself and then 2 other cards, in which case your interruption should be good enough to stop their plays beyond that point. Hand traps, you don't really need hand traps, so these 6. I know this is kind of crazy. This is a 12 hand trap minimum format, but you forget that we have Natasha just eats a snake eye board on its own. I mean, I was Natasha-ing into people's like 6+ card board and chewing it, like absolutely destroying it. So yeah, you pretty much only play Ash just because Ash is the most versatile, and Nib just cracks the most boards. Like anything that plays Fiendsmith, pretty much like Nib is pretty good to trade into. And the last card, Scylla Hat Trick. Hate drawing this card, but I mean it's an interruption on its own, so it's not insanely terrible. That's the main deck. I play 40. Do not play more than 40 in DRYTRON. I don't know how many times I see lists that are like 47. It's so incorrect. You need 2 names. You need to see 2 names. You need to have the least amount of cards in your deck as possible. If I had 3 deck slots free, I'd probably play Upstart. That's how like dedicated I would be to having the least amount of cards in here. So let's go with the extra deck. It's not in order, unfortunately. So just try to sort it out a little bit. 2 Fafnir, you're not playing new, so you don't need 3. What else we got? We got Fucho. Fucho is, you have to play this card. There's no way around it. You get drolled, you get shifted. If they hit you with a Mulch Army and you don't want to commit hard into their Mulch Army, use Fucho. Pretty standard, I guess. I don't ever make this card, but it's only good for the following cards, which is Downer Zeus. Zeus just helps equalize a lot of boards. Against my Flu opponent, I was able to equalize and then dominate with card advantage just because of it. Then we play Dark, Herald the Mirage Lights. This is really only good into games where you need to put up a spell negate urgently. It's not insanely good. I don't make it a lot, but still. Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Cerberus. I don't play SP. I sold the vast majority of my cards. This is pretty much, so if you have SP, you probably don't need to play Cerberus. I still recommend Phoenix. When you're snapping boards with Natasha, I try to go into as many nightmares as possible. Typically, you can tribute your Ben 10s in ways that give you overall card advantage to the point where the discard isn't like a huge thing. Usually I'll try to discard Natasha as cost and then use Medionis, bring Natasha back. And that way I pretty much subverted that initial cost for the nightmares. Unicorn, same logic. You're pretty much trying to just cycle through your nightmares, snap boards with Natasha. You play Anima, Perfect Link 1, good for getting rid of the Nib token. IP, pretty self-explanatory. Scylla Hat Rabbit, obviously, and then access code. The whole goal of this deck is you're negating every card they own, then using Gamma with Scylla Hat Rabbit and IP to make access code. So typically you'll have this here, and then you'll have, say this is Herald. You'll have Herald there. You'll basically Gamma effect, go into Unicorn, and then Unicorn into access code. Where is it? Right here. and then switch this to attack, and this is game on board. So yeah, and I believe that's under nip as well. I mean, it doesn't matter because you should have fairy follow-up for the herald. So yeah, extra deck. Side deck is super like whatever you want. Basically, you don't need to play this exact extra deck by any means, or side deck by any means. I recommend it, but it's up to you. Dogwood, you need to curb a lot of decks. It's also very good in time, and a lot of people who are good don't play into it, so it's basically like a max C almost. I usually use it just for time. Combos take a while, so for the one-ofs monsters, I play Consecrated Light, Lancia, Droll, and Shifter. These will be very obvious in a second, but Consecrated Light. So I didn't play this during the tournament. These two were actually Bestials, Druis and God, I forget his name, Magnemite. They were good for a card I'll show after, but I took them out because I realized that, I don't know, like trading that, okay, I'll just say it's cross out obviously, but like trading cross out into a Bestial feels really cringe because it doesn't get rid of the card in their hand. So I felt like maybe I should double down on versatility and being able to hit the widest amount of matches as opposed to focusing too hard into cross out targets. So we'll see how that goes. Consecrated Light. The reason I play this is because against Bell, they can't out this card. To my knowledge anyway. I think it's like they have to have Droplet, DRNM, sorry. I think those are the only ones that deal with this, and the reason is that I play this is because you can go Ben 10, search it off the initial search, or if you get stopped or something. That way if they hand trap you to death, you just normal it and then pass, and they can't really do anything. That's the theory behind it. I still have to test it, but it seems pretty strong. Lancia is for Ritual Beast. You can search it, so I don't understand why you wouldn't play it. There was a Ritual Beast player at the tournament. I didn't get a chance to play him. I personally hate that matchup. It's a pretty tough matchup for me because I don't know where to hand trap. I'm still learning the deck, so yeah. Droll and Shifter are by far the two most impactful hand traps against this deck. Imperm, Veiler, I don't care about. Moonlit, I don't care about. It's these two. Even Ash, I don't give a crap about. If I get hit with any of those hand traps, I'm yawning. However, if they drop a Droll and a Shifter, it's really rough. So I need to be prepared for that because my deck hard loses to those cards. 3 cross out. 3 of my own Droplet. If I see them, depending on their deck list, I'll know. Like if I see the Droplet in their deck list, game 1, I'll side it into cross out. But if I also know the deck and I know it well enough, I can tell what's in their deck already. I know that Despia likes to play Droplet a little bit. I think they transitioned into Dark Ruler, but I know that they switched into a board breaker approach, which I love because this deck cooks board breakers. You pretty much have to open Dark Ruler. No other board breaker will work. But I don't remember if they're still on Droplet or Dark Ruler. Fill me in the comments. I think they're on Dark Ruler. And then 2 Cosmic. I just had 2 slots left over. I needed some generic back row coverage. So yeah, so that's the deck list. Performed super well. I bricked 0 times. Obviously, in my last match against Fiend Smithy Bell, opening Gamma Delta sucks, obviously, but I rather have 2 names than none at all. He just happened to have the hand traps and use them very well. I would say that's probably the thing. It wasn't even the hand traps, it was just how well he used them against me. That unfortunately cost me the game. So I'm just going to show the combo here. Be as quick as I can. I don't want this to be too long of a video. And then we'll just have 3 blanks. So Alpha, pitch Zeta. search Ben 10, Zeta, Ben 10, Zeta, search Medionis, Ben 10, search Choju. There's a reason you do this. You're going to go into Fafnir. Now, you're going to go Fafnir effect. If they impermit, you now have Choju to continue playing. But just for the sake of argument, we'll just say that they don't have any hand traps. Just to show what the full power of this deck can do, you always pitch Gamma. As greedy as it is to pitch Delta, yeah, you need to pitch Gamma for Nib. Bring out Ben 10, then you're gonna check for Nib. Wait, you don't check for Nib yet. Sorry, apologies. I'm at 4 summons here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So tribute Ben 10 for Choju. Chain link 1, chain link 2. You want chain block. Then you're gonna add perfection. And I guess like it doesn't matter what your search is here necessarily, but you can pick Eva right off the bat. You can also pick another Ben 10. It really doesn't particularly matter. So add those 3 to your hand. Feels good. You're gonna go Medionis effect back to hand. Go Medionis. Get rid of the Zeta here under the Fafnir. Bring out the Ben 10. One of the coolest interactions in this deck that I really like. Just gonna go down to the Herald. Tribute summon Herald of Perfection. Then you're gonna go Chainlink 2, Chainlink 1. So banish this. I just realized you might not be seeing my whole board here. There we go. So add Ben 10 back and then search Ben 10. Since we already have Eva, we're gonna search another Ben 10. Okay. Thinking here. We're going to go into Silhouette Rabbit. Silhouette Rabbit effects. I don't know if I added it to my hand already. I don't think I did. I might have actually. Yeah, I have it in my hand. I'm a bot. Well, we have to make the Silhouette Rabbit anyway. It's a good spell trap pop, so we'll just pretend that that was from the deck. Go Gamma, effect engrave. Pitching Ben 10. Gamma. Bring out Fafnir. Really doesn't matter which name here. Ben 10 effects. I should already have another Ben 10 in hand. Yeah, so I like adding Natasha here, just get it into rotation. And then we'll make IP. The reason we make IP is we have 0 way to deal with battle phase. You could technically make a... the problem with not having SP either is that it kind of hurts this a little bit. In this deck, not particularly, because you're usually drowning in card advantage. But for the most part, it's kind of annoying not being able to go into an SP. But yeah, Unicorn is a thing. For all you brokies like myself, I just don't play enough competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! To justify it. Yeah, so this is the end board. And we should be negating almost practically everything they have. Yes, right? For the most part. So we'll pass. They do anything. We pitch Eva. Eva effect. Choju and Ben 10. So now they're down to 5 cards. Green light, orange light. And then they do anything else, negate, 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 negate. So that puts them down to 1 card, and then we have Ash, Silhouette Rabbit, and then a spin. So in this particular hand, we weren't lucky enough to have the 6 card negate, but still, it's still pretty crazy. Like, you're negating everything they have. Yeah, so that's the uninterrupted combo. At minimum, if you get hand trapped to death, you probably can end on a half board of just IP, Silhouette Rabbit, and set. with like a hand trap. It's not ideal, but it's still pretty powerful considering this deck does pretty good into hand traps. But yeah, that's my deck list. I don't think I would change really anything other than the 2 things I changed in the side deck. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could really show, but yeah, no, just to say for the situation earlier, yeah, I think I already elaborated on it, but yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to drop your comments and have a good one.